Following a deadly shooting at Tanglewood Middle School in Greenville, one family is now spending the holiday without their 12-year-old son. Fox Carolina's Myra Ruiz has the latest on the case.
Nearly 9 months after the deadly shooting at Tanglewood Middle School, more details are emerging in the case. Gunfire ended 12-year-old Jamari Jackson's life, but the accused shooter's attorney says there's some background to the bullet.
And the fact is, the juvenile in this case was asked to join a gang. He refused. He was beat up. He was threatened. And he didn't go get a gun and shoot somebody as a result. He went to his parents, and his parents called the school.
Defense attorney Ryan Beasley says his client was labeled as a snitch. Margie Pizarro, the attorney for Jamari Jackson's family, says the allegations are not surprising.
Well, you know, we were prepared for victim shaming, which is what we're going to call it. We were prepared to hear statements that were self-serving.
At the hearing to determine whether the defendant should remain in custody,
there was obviously a dispute between the two.
The deputy solicitor acknowledged a disagreement and added that the defendant, whose name we're not using due to his age, has been in several fights while in custody at the Department of Juvenile Justice.
I'm going to find that continued detention is necessary and appropriate to protect the public and to protect this child and to serve his best interest. Y'all referenced that there may be gangs present at Tanglewood Middle School. There may be a situation where this juvenile was being bullied potentially and threatened and trying to be coerced into a gang. And if that is true, continued detention will protect him as well.
A decision the young defendant's family did not want to hear.
I just felt like we needed to go forward to give him an opportunity before Christmas to be with his family.
A time when two families are dealing with the absence of a son.
Of course, it's going to be a very difficult Christmas for the family. Jamari's not here.
In Greenville, Myra Ruiz, Fox Carolina News.
Tim Waller, the spokesman for the Greenville County School District, responded to allegations that the shooting is gang-related, as you heard the judge talk about there. He said, quote, "The district will not provide any specific details given that there is an active criminal prosecution. However, the district is confident that any concern between two individuals was handled promptly, appropriately, and in accord with established procedures." The judge requested the juvenile defendant receive counseling as he remains in custody. His next court appearance is expected in the spring, and that hearing will determine if he's being tried as an adult.
Now